Hi, today I'm here with Shariko Cannon and Ollie. And Shari, tell me about Ollie.
Well, this is Ollie. Ollie is actually a Bichon Frise, although he thinks he's a Jack Russell. The reason I've got my woolly hat on is we've just come in from doing the horses. I've had Ollie, he's just over 3, and I've had him, I bought him from a show home when he was 6 months old, and obviously he was actually bred as a potential cross contender, but it turned out, I think his nose grew a centimetre too long or something silly like that, so you didn't make it, did you? So when I got him, as I say, he was 6 months old and he was on a normal dog food diet, and obviously Daniel recommended that I change his diet, which wasn't that hard to do, although I had him about 2 or 3 months before I took Daniel's advice. So he was about 9 months old before I changed his diet. And one of the big problems that I had was actually getting him to eat anything, because Bichons don't actually eat that much, and he was very, very fussy. So what I was having to do was change the brand of dog food really every 2 or 3 days to try and tempt him to eat anything. So I found feeding him quite a challenge. He's always been quite a lively little dog. So I changed over to the natural diet that Dan recommended, and to be honest, there was no changeover. I stopped feeding him that stuff one day and started feeding him all the natural stuff the next day. And we've not looked back, have we? As I say, he thinks he's a Jack Russell. He's got loads and loads of energy. He's quite big for a Bichon, but I think that is because he's got 6 acres here to run around in, and he chases the horses around, chases everything around. I only feed him once a day, and he has a mixture of all sorts of things that Daniel recommends, and he only has, raw dog food, raw meat and bones. He doesn't eat anything else. Apart from what he hunts for himself, because a byproduct of this has been that Ollie actually manages to feed himself on some days. So I don't actually feed him every day, which I know sounds astonishing, but some days you manage to feed yourself, don't you? With the odd rabbit and so on. But no, I haven't looked back, and I think the advantages, the biggest advantage to me is, like most people, I absolutely hate dog poo. It's smelly, it's disgusting. But I found on this diet that it's not. It's just little pellets. They are completely odourless, very easy to clean up. So that's not been a problem at all. Another bonus is his breath. Ollie's a big licker, aren't you, mate? There you go. You see, yeah, he loves licking. I don't like it as much as you do. Never ever has bad breath ever. And the other thing that we've noticed with him as well is how remarkably clean his teeth are. His teeth really, I don't, it's very remiss of me, but I do not clean his teeth, and I've had them examined, and they don't need cleaning, they're remarkably clean. He can munch his way through the hardest of bones. He hasn't had a day's illness, he doesn't break wind, he never has diarrhoea, and he's never ever sick, he never throws up. So all in all, and he absolutely loves his food now, all in all it's been a huge success for him, hasn't it, mate? And recommend it to anybody.
When I first saw Ollie, he had a lot of calculus all around the teeth, particularly around the big canines, and it was quite thick. I did recommend at the time that Sharif visit the vet and get them cleaned up. But since he's been eating the bones and quite big pieces of lamb rib bone and so on, he's been gradually just cleaning them away, and now they're actually shiny white and clean.
So it's cleaned them, hasn't it? Which is great,
so
because I'm not trying
self-cleaning.
to take him.
So saving a fortune in vet fees for teeth cleaning and so on, which is great. You told me you were mentioning about the hair falling out.
But Bichons.
It wasn't on the Bichon.
No, not on this one. I have a Jack Russell pup as well. When I say pup, he's about 7 months old. And the thing with Bichons, the advantage with them is that they don't molt. So it's absolutely brilliant. You get no hair anywhere. And when I got the Jack Russell, I was absolutely horrified. It was molting absolutely, and this was out of season, molting absolutely everywhere. I had white hair absolutely everywhere. Now I've transferred that Jack Russell onto the same diet as Ollie, and he's been on it for just over 2 months, about 10 weeks. And one of the I've noticed all exactly the same things as with him, but one of the big things I've noticed is he stopped molting. So not near, I mean, there's a few white hairs because you're going to get that with any dog, but he's stopped molting, as well as lots of other He stopped scratching, he stopped molting. The improvement has been huge in him. But I've only had him on it 10 weeks, so that's great. So I keep both of them on that diet, and it's great. I just buy an order in every 2 months, stick it all in the freezer, and way to go. So it's quite easy, really.
And how would you compare the convenience of before you obviously you get a can out and open up and put it in the bowl, and now you've got natural
I know
food.
this has nothing to do with feeding dogs, but you haven't got cans.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a bit more eco-friendly. I know this sounds really silly, but I hate opening cans. I've just got it in like little trays in the freezer. I've got an old freezer that I keep in actually, so I just get something out every morning. In fact, to tell you the truth, I find it easier because I buy in bulk. I've got 2 months worth of food. I actually find it easier. And then they've got a choice between the tripe, the chicken frames, the bones, and the trays with the mashed up different offcuts in. And I just vary it so they have something different every day and divide it up between them. I mean, they're only 2 small dogs, although you are rather large, aren't you? And I find it quite easy as long as you just put your order in. So 6 times a year I put an order in and stick it all in the freezer. So no hassle at all really. And whereas having to buy the cans and open the cans and then dispose of the cans.
Yes, yeah.
So that's good. Excellent.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, here's a great example of a dog that's benefited greatly from being switched over to real food and a natural diet. Just to give you an idea of what you can get out of feeding this way, the benefits from it, we'll move on.
Here we go.
So, thanks
Say
very
bye-bye,
much, Ollie.
Ollie.
Thanks very much, Cherie.
Ooh.
Thanks again.
Back to
Bye-bye.
licking. Bye.